All new Downright Sports, the radio show, the podcast, whatever you want to call it. Happy 2021. Remember 2020? It was so like 2 weeks ago. If this is the first time you ever listened to the show, I am your host, Brent, Reid. I am the Notorious sports critic for the sports fan. And my headphones, there we go. We need to kick off the show with one thing. Yesterday, ladies and gentlemen, if you watched Tampa Bay take on the Saints, number one, you saw an ugly game. You did. Very frankly, it was an ugly game. But what you saw was a unicorn, which is what you watched and what you witnessed last night or yesterday evening or yesterday afternoon or wherever you watched the game. If you're on the West Coast, it was yesterday afternoon. When you watched that game, you witnessed greatness wearing number 12 for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I know what I said when I said it because I said it when I was there and I was there when I said it. I know it. When the year started and Tom Brady announced he was going to Tampa, I didn't wait for Antonio Brown to sign. I didn't wait for Gronkowski to sign. I said it that day. Whenever I recorded that episode, I said they're going to the NFC Championship game. I'm not going to guarantee the Super Bowl, but I said they're going to the NFC Championship game. I don't even have to look it up. Go back and listen to my old shows. I promise you I said that. Yes, Raymond joins us. Whoop, whoop. Yeah, their defense did do a job, but regardless, Tom Brady is in another conference game. How can you not sit back and just go, wow. Drew Brees has played in that same conference for a very long time and has yet, since going to the Saints, the poor Saints, there's always something stopping them from getting over that hill. Maybe it's karma because of a bounty game. Maybe it's that. Maybe they're payback for that. We're going to talk about Brees in a second. But Tom Brady last night had an ugly game. Yes, he did. Their defense did hold up. Yes, it did. If you pay attention what Tom did last night, 18 for 33, just 199 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. He was sacked. His QBR was 92. He was sacked, believe it or not. According to this, he was sacked once. I can't find out how to believe. But the final score was 30-20 at the end of the day. I'm missing something. Am I missing something? I am missing something. Crap. It's all good. I got what I needed. Anyway, what we saw was bend, don't break. Because if you go back and watch the game again, the game was ugly. And there was at least 2... Oh, yeah. Yes, no question, Raymond. I'm sorry, I was reading that right. Yes, that's what I was getting ready to say. He's become the bend, don't break. Let me just manage this game. Let me not be the reason we lose. Because he threw a couple that could have been pick. The guys just didn't hold it. But go back and watch how he throws the ball. How he kind of now puts the ball in play. He doesn't throw, like he does his best not to throw it into dangerous situations. Like there was a pass he threw to this one receiver, I can't think of his name right now, but the pass was towards the sideline, away from the defender, where only the receiver is able to either miss it or catch it. The receiver catches it, makes a fantastic catch because he kept his body in control. But that's what Tom Brady has above and beyond everybody. He's evolved. He doesn't take risks. He puts the ball in position for you to succeed, but he don't take risks. He's not just going to gun it down the field just for the sake of gunning it down. Leave the AFC to come to the NFC to give us the matchups we never got in the Super Bowl. Tom Brady versus Brees. Now we're getting Brady versus Rodgers because those guys can never hold up the end of the bargain. We're touching on Aaron Rodgers in a second. But you got LeBron James at 36 years old. I'm 35 this year. LeBron at 36, still at the top of his game. Still one of the best, one of the top 3 players in the league today. No questions asked. You mark it, LeBron is still the best. LeBron is still some people's number 1 draft pick starting today. You started a franchise today, you'd be stupid not to take LeBron as your number 1 pick. How, after watching Tom Brady this season, just this season, we're not talking about next year, but if this season was, if you got to restart this season, how would you not take Tom Brady to start this season for 1 year? You got him for 1 year. How would you not take him? That's the true definition of, oh yeah, Mount Rushmore. When you say basketball, you say Jordan, clearly. When you say baseball, you say Ruth, clearly. Football, it is no longer Joe Montana. It is no longer Brett Favre. There's Jim Brown. There's Jerry Rice. Defensively, I'm a Deacon Jones guy, but defensively, you got so many great defensive players. Lawrence Taylor. I'm not going to go down that list. But quarterback-wise, Tom Brady fills that spot.
Yeah, man, you know the vibes, man. It's DJChase, Downright Sports. Shout out to the hottest sports podcast. Shout out to my guy, Brent, Reid. You know the vibes, man. You see it in front of the Superdome. You feel me? Every Thursday nights, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. on Dynasty Radio, Kim Dynasty. You know the vibes, Downright Sports, the hottest sports podcast out. Let's go.
And it's a day where we kind of, no matter if you're black or white, we all should kind of just sit back and go, okay. You know what I mean? We all should just sit back and listen to the words that this man said. Why is today Martin Luther King Day? Well, his birthday was actually January 15th. So it's just easier, you know, it's nice that they gave, you know, it wasn't his, he has a whole day, Monday. It's a federal day. People get off early, some people don't have to work. Which is important because we should all have taken the time to sit back and listen to some of the words, especially in this week. The inauguration's coming up, and something that I think all of us, no matter, I'm gonna sound like a politician, whether you're on either side of the aisle, we can all say the last 4 years have been like, what is going on? What has made the country in my lifetime great, and what goes to Dr. King's dream, and I'm gonna talk for me, is I've been fortunate enough where I've been able to interact with people from all walks of life. When I was a kid, when I was in school, I went to school with a lot of guys from a lot of parts of the world. Not the country, but the world. I went to school with a kid from Chile. I went to school with a kid from, at the time it was known as Yugoslavia. It's not the Czech Republic. I went to school with kids from Puerto Rico, the Dominican Republic. I went to school with kids from from all over the world. Ethiopia, if you will. I got to work with whites, blacks, Hispanics, everybody. Befriend so many of these different people. Some of my closest friends are white. The lady I sleep next to every night, no secret, is white. And because of people like, not just him, but because of people like Martin Luther King and the sacrifices they made, I can do that. I can openly feel comfortable when me and Allie go out for dinner. I don't have to worry about somebody saying something to us. You know, A, that's not a fight they want, because, and B, we have the ability where we could go out, where we could turn on the TV, and now there are commercials that reflect what we look like. Now, I don't mean black people, I mean me and her. There are like interracial commercials out now. Our country, that's what makes our country great, is that we are this melting pot. We are a collective. We are a combination of white, black, Mexican, Jewish, Muslim, Christian, atheist. Whatever you want to be, you can be here. Gay, straight, bi, the whole alphabet. Whatever it is that floats, whatever it is you want, you're able to do. And we have to get away from this finger pointing. We have to get away from this labeling. There's too much labeling. There's too much, boomer, gen, gay, straight. It's too much labeling. We need to get to where because you can't, to get to the place we want to be, we need to get to the place where we're just all people. And we just judge people based on their character, literally on their character. That's all Dr. King was trying to get us to. Not judge on the basis of the color of the skin, not judge based on the height, not weight, not sexual orient, whatever. Base them on are they just a good person or not? You know what I'm saying? They're just a good old-fashioned person. Do they hold the door for old ladies? You know what I mean? Like, we have to look ourselves in the mirror. Us. We all need to look in the mirror and go, wow, what have we been doing? What have we been saying? If I alienate some people, I'm sorry. I apologize. But let's be frank and let's be real here. If you're still harboring resentment from a war you never fought in, you're just flat out stupid. Quite frankly. If you're chasing ghost of Granddaddy's Day, there's something literally wrong with you. To think that you want something that you've never had in your lifetime. I hear men all the time talk about, oh, things were so much better in the past. How would you know that? You weren't alive in the 50s. You weren't alive in the 20s or the 30s. You weren't. It's unlikely. Is there some stuff out there that today that I kind of wish wasn't going on? Absolutely. But what you do is you deal with it and you move forward and you learn, you adapt or you die. Martin Luther King, if you really want to put a bow on this, Martin Luther King died at 39 years old. Never saw his 40th birthday. Died at 39. Think about that. I'm 35 come June 18th. He was 4 years older than me when he died. And he only was killed for one reason. He just wanted everybody to treat everybody with respect. And call him a jerk, The heck was he thinking? Who is this guy to want that? Why not just hate? Because hate is easy. But to look at a person and take their faults and literally turn the other cheek and go, I love you in the name of Jesus or whatever, and just keep it moving, because at the end of the day, what another man does or what another woman does or what another person does ultimately doesn't affect you when you go home, unless they're trying to create harm to you. They go their separate way, you go your separate way. That's life. Why is this so hard? Why fight so hard to make them come to your side of thinking? Just come in the middle. Pause. Find that common ground in the middle. That's what it's all about at the end of the day. Think about it like this. When you get in a relationship, you meet a person. You meet the person, you fall in love. You choose to do certain things, you find common ground. Everything they do is not perfect. Everything you do is not perfect. But you find that common ground and you realize, oh, this is why I love this person. Why can't we do the same thing for people that we see once in a while? I'm not saying when a guy cuts you off in traffic, you can't get upset. Yeah, get upset. That's human nature. You cut me off. But to the degree where we're having real conversations and arguments where people can't see the difference in a bunch of fools rushing our nation's capital in the name of patriotism versus a group of people just asking the law to please stop shooting me when I'm literally doing nothing. It's two different things, people. If you can't see the difference in a football player choosing to take a peaceful protest by kneeling and hurting nobody versus a fool running into a representative of our country and going and defecating on their desk, well then you're dumb as a doorknob. And as Ali told me today, you're dumber than a left-hand coal bucket. So Some of you may not like what I had to say today, but I feel like I had to say it in honor of Dr. King because that's what he did. He said what some didn't want to hear. But guess what? Damn it, you needed to hear it. All right? I promise you next week, all sports. I promise that. All sports next week. But I will no longer shy away from the fact that people like Dr. Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, and others, excuse me, Jesse Jackson and countless others, Gandhi and everybody, got choked up or just choked. Certain people, the sacrifices they made. So I can sit here and talk to this stupid microphone about Tom Brady. You know what I mean? It's Jackie Robinson. The sacrifices these people made. Jackie Robinson never saw 60. His stress was such. His diabetes killed him. His wife was still alive. He never saw 60. Jackie Robinson never got to see a black manager in baseball. Think about that. Think about that. These are true sacrifices. Not turning off your cell phone for 2 hours and saying, I'm really achieving something. No, a sacrifice is doing something above and beyond what anybody's asking you to do. Taking a true stand, if you will. So, thanks for watching this episode of Downright Sports Radio, the podcast here on YouTube. Check us out and listen to us at Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, Google Play, Spotify, Anchor, wherever you can download a podcast, and then tune in every Thursday night at 8 o'clock at DynastyRadioNY.com, your number one source for hip-hop, R&B, and soul, but on Thursdays, your number one source for sports. And follow me at Brent Reid 18 at Twitter. Go to Downright Sports at Instagram and Downright Sports at TikTok. Deuces.